Well, good evening, everybody. This is an unusual one. I've come to editing the video, and I didn't do didn't do an intro. Bit keen, I guess. I had Liz here helping out, which was really cool. Without further ado, here's what we got up to. After another quick mopping of the floor with plain water, then Liz and I decided to start just sort of laying some tiles to see how they laid out, and they're sort of each exactly, or it was about a third each. So we looked at just having one straight down the middle, and then tried the sort of the brick pattern, as it were, and decided that looked better. We had to go at cutting a sample that we had, and Liz kindly took that job on as I laid out the rest of the floor. And then I had a little wander about on it. Well, I found the instructions first, or after I'd laid everything. Tested out the floor. Yeah, it all seems to stay put, so that was okay. It's a loose lay floor. It's a commercial product called Exponor Simple. So anyway, you don't have to do anything clever with it. But this is Liz doing one of the cuts. She didn't notice and was a bit surprised when she realised that I was filming her. This is the base of the cupboard for the sink. So I'm just putting some pocket screws into it so that I can attach that to the cupboards either side of it, if you see what I mean. And then we started moving the cupboards into place, and well, then I realised that I was going to need to take the side off this cupboard to cut it to go round the skirting board. And so I had a little go at trying to figure out what the skirting board looked like. And anyway, it was annoying, and so decided that the best thing to do was to actually fix the radiator in place. So the radiator is then in place, and then I can kind of measure accurately off it. Now, we put the wrong piece in. The piece, one of the pieces is shorter on the port than it is on the starboard, or vice versa. Anyway, I picked up the wrong piece. There we go. There's me finding the correct bit. So then we had to redo some of the connections, and a bit more deburring required on that one. Anyway, it eventually it all went together without too much difficulty. But I couldn't get it to attach to the wall until the following morning. I don't know why. It went straight in when I tried it a second time. After Liz had gone home. It was very nice to have Liz on board. Thank you very much for coming, Liz. It was super to see you, and useful to have somebody else around, as always. Then I realised that I wanted those stands, so this was sitting on top of them, so I decided that I'd put this in. You notice that I sort of just using my weight on the lever to hold the jig in place while I drill. But anyway, that was quite quick to put up, so now that's in place as well. Something else out of the way. Then using my jig, then this was pretty straightforward. But I never seem to be able to cut very straight with jigsaws, so I went and found the circular saw, despite the fact that it's the cuts aren't long, but they are better with, or I find that they're better with the circular saw. So that's what I used. And this is the base of the cupboard, because it still has to go around the joints. So then I put the cupboard back together and put it in place. Oh no, not quite yet. Put the base of the cupboard in, and I just lifted the base to have the front where it should be, level with the other fronts, which left me with a small gap at the back, which was I had sort of not really noticed was going to be there, but it's just a 5mm gap or so. I'm not quite sure why I'd cut that base short, but I did. So fixed up the pipes in place, and then had to drill holes for them to make sure that the cupboard could slot around them. That spade bit makes an awful lot of mess, but tried my best to keep the hoover on it as I was going, and then was able to slide the cupboard back so that I know where the edge of the cupboard is and how much space to leave for the threshold, so that I can make that cut. Well, there's not a huge amount of progress, but there is progress nonetheless. And obviously, having the port radiator fully plumbed and permanently in place is good progress. Which has enabled me to put a decent cut around there. It's looking, well, there you go. I think it's looking very good, so that's all right. That's what matters. I know where I've got to cut, and which will enable me to put the threshold. permanently in place. But I'm just a bit knackered, so I'm going to give it a rest, and I will be back. Maybe not tomorrow, but I don't know, I really do need to get Tilly sorted. And so that's what I'll be mainly focused on. I won't be back, but otherwise, I might. If you're around at Crick on Saturday, then I might see you there. If not, then have fun whatever else you're doing. Looks like then it might be a reasonable weekend. Take care, everybody.